Have you ever had texts disappear into thin air with women? Not a single spark, not even a laugh? One mistake might spell disaster while texting because it can be a minefield. But what if I told you that one of your best tools for demonstrating your worth to others is texting? Stay put to make your text game become hit after hit instead of hit or miss. You'll discover how to text women in a way that not only grabs their attention but also keeps it, leaving them waiting for your next message, by the end of this video. Welcome to Z Taxi. On this channel, we love sharing relationship information, tips, and tricks to help you take your game to the next level. Subscribe if you're new here and give this video a big thumbs up for that good old YouTube algorithm. Now, without any further ado, let's begin. Texting psychology is number 7. Let's start by briefly discussing the psychology of texting because, let's be honest, there is a lot more going on there than you might realize in those little messages. Keep in mind that you are losing out on a significant portion of human communication when you text. No tone of voice, no facial signals. You and the screen are alone. When someone says, "I'm fine" in person, for example, you can hear the slight tremble in their voice that indicates there might be more to this. "I am okay," however, is a flat phrase in a text that might signify anything from "I'm truly fine" to "I'm secretly freaking out right now." So how can you close that distance? You must exercise creativity. Here, emojis, those vibrant tiny characters, can become your closest allies. They reintroduce the feeling into the situation. A yes can become an enthusiastic yes with the addition of an exclamation mark. And let's not even discuss capitalization. That might make the difference between a shout and a whisper. You are essentially painting a picture for someone who is unable to see the scenario when you text. The context that your voice and face typically would have to be provided by you. If you don't have it, your message can fall flat. 6th, avoid sending lengthy texts. I take it you have been there? After sending a brief text, a wall of text appears. It's so epic that setting aside time to work on it is necessary. Yes, those lengthy texts that left you scrolling for days in search of the real message. To be honest, it's a little excessive. Furthermore, it's not a smart idea to text ladies with messages that could pass for a book chapter. Your message doesn't scream, "I am thoughtful and deep," when it becomes a manuscript. It almost shouts desperation. It seems as though you are hurling all of your thoughts at them in the hopes that something would stick. However, that is not the behavior of a high-value man. He is aware of his value and the fact that sometimes little is more. Thus, be succinct. Your SMS ought to be succinct, interesting, and leave the recipient wanting more, just like the ideal tweet. It's not about overflowing their email that will keep their attention. It should be succinct, elegant, and pleasant. 5. Have intelligent conversation. Do you recall your high school days class clowns? The people who always had a joke ready, regardless of whether it was funny or not, seemed to draw attention and laughs, especially from the girls. Now, though, what? The times have evolved. As has the qualities that women value in a man. Texting like a high-value man is not quite the same as the act that used to captivate audiences. You see, you might be missing the mark if you are still sending out one-liners and playing the jester in your texts. It is the look of a well-organized person that attracts women. A possible mate who is responsible, grown up, and, sure, still knows how to have fun. But equilibrium is key. You are simply pushing her away if every message you send seems like it's trying too hard to be humorous or cool. You have the opportunity to demonstrate to her that there is thought behind those thumbs when you text. You want her attention to be piqued, her feelings to be heard, and her to think, "This guy has something to say." And no, that doesn't imply that you have to be discussing philosophy or quoting Shakespeare. Engage in a meaningful discussion that transcends simple small talk. For instance, rather than merely inquiring, "How was your day?" go a little farther and ask yourself, for example, "What made today's highlight so special?" It demonstrates that you are more than simply a box to be checked, you are interested in her experiences and the intricacies. Fourth, utilize of emojis wisely. Everyone has encountered that one person whose texts resemble a sticker book, am I right? However, if you don't make that winking look when you indicate you're joking, your sarcasm may not land as intended. Alternatively, perhaps you want to be sincere about your enthusiasm without being too dramatic. A straightforward smiley will work. Say you text a woman and she says she can't wait to see you. This is basically ordinary stuff without an emoji. However, when you include a happy face at the end, it becomes cozy and intimate. It says, "Without your having to speak a word, I am grinning as I consider it." However, using a ton of emojis in a serious or business-oriented communication can backfire. Research supports this, indicating that using emojis excessively may actually detract from your authenticity. It seems more like you are hiding behind those tiny icons than you are sticking to what you have said. Recall that a high-value man understands the worth of sincerity and the power of subtlety. Emojis should complement your message rather than overpower it. Let them emphasize, rather than cast doubt on, your genuineness. 3. Quick reaction. Let's put an end to the notion that waiting hours to respond will make you appear enigmatic or cool. Deliberately holding off on responding is cold and not cool. And a high-value man is not one who is aloof. That's one thing when you're actually busy. Life happens, that much is clear to all. However, you are really doing the reverse if you are looking at your phone in the hopes that playing the waiting game would increase your stock. It sounds apathetic or, to be honest, a little impolite. Being on time demonstrates consideration for other people's interests and time. It conveys the message, "I see you, I hear you, and I value your time." You want to convey that kind of message to women. It all comes down to consideration, which is a wonderful quality. So, send that message as soon as you have a chance to respond to that text. Instead of having a roundabout, keep the conversation moving like a two-way street. 2. Texting is not for solving issues. Have you ever found yourself trying to resolve a conflict or patch things up by a text? If the answer is yes, you are familiar with what it's like to see a minor disagreement turn into a full-fledged text war. Texts are not the best place to resolve disputes. How come? Because all the subtleties of human communication are lost in writing. Text that is cold and hard and easily misunderstood without any tone or facial expressions. Misunderstandings are almost inevitable when attempting to discuss difficult topics via text. It blows directly in your face, much like when you try to defuse a bomb with a hammer. Besides, a high-value man knows when to change tools, let's face it. He is aware that some discussions require the clarity that comes from a voice call or in-person interaction. In other words, avoid reaching for your keyboard when things become rough. Reach out and make an appointment, or pick up the phone. You had better come up with fixes rather than make things worse. And that's how, with the appropriate equipment and a level mind, you handle conflict like a high-value man. First, send a message with purpose. There should be a clear purpose behind each text you send. Sending messages is not what we do for the sole purpose of seeing our own words appear on screen. There needs to be purpose behind it all, whether you are arranging a date, asking how her day is going, or just saying hi. Consider your texts to be arrows. It won't get you anywhere to shoot aimlessly. However, if you focus your words and make them matter, you will consistently hit the mark. Furthermore, who doesn't value a discussion that genuinely progresses? It's comparable to the difference between watching paint dry in a movie and one with an engaging story. Recall that women are drawn to and are able to discern when a conversation has depth. Contextual conversation is appealing. It demonstrates that you are more than just another guy sending pointless, "Hey, what's up" texts to her email address. So, consider this: what is my objective here, before I hit the submit button? You will come across as someone who is communicating, not just talking, if you keep your texts focused. And that's high-value texting 101, my friend. In summary, if you've made it this far, please confirm that you've learned everything there is to know by leaving a 100% positive comment below. Thank you for viewing.